All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome to a very irregular week. We don't just have one live stream this week. This is crazy. We have two because there's news. So we have to have another live stream to be able to talk about all the big stuff going on. And I want to come here with one main goal to address any and all misinformation that's going around right now. I have a lot of insider knowledge and just a lot of regular knowledge on the topic of urethane right now. So I wanted to come on and be able to talk anything and everything urethane. I want to answer every question that you guys have about the urethane ban. The big thing is I was able to talk with USBC. USBC reached out to me. If you didn't see on my Facebook, they actually shared my video about it. So huge thank you to United States Bowling Congress for doing that. That's very, very cool that you guys shared my video to your, I don't even know how many followers they have right now on Facebook. It's more than 10. I know that. It's in the hundreds of thousands. I don't know the exact number, but I have a lot of interesting information for you guys. I want to be able to answer every question you guys have. I'm very worried that in the next couple days, you're going to see a lot of garbage information coming out from people who didn't actually do their research and who are just trying to start trends. So I want to get in front of that as soon as humanly possible because I feel like a live stream next Wednesday is a little bit too late for that. So it's a little bit all over the place today. Apologies, but I want to answer everything you guys have. Let's try to see. I don't think it'll be a very big live stream today. It's a Friday night, so I assume not many people are going to hop in. We're going to find out. So it might be just a nice little closer group of us today, but that's A-okay. I see Kaya over on Twitch. What's going on, Kaya? Otherwise, we've got Jim hanging out, Pravada, Aggie, Vanna, Jack, John. What's going on, John? Great to see you. Duncan, Noah Pick, Randy Peters, Gabriel coming out. Gabriel, by the way, I just popped this. Alani Dream Float is the flavor of the day. I assume I'm not going to be able to sleep all that much. There's a lot going on with all this stuff. But I wanted to pop some nice little calf. Matthew Novak, what is going on? Derek, RJ, Wayne, Caleb. All right, let's start getting into the comments that you guys have. We got a lot of people hopping over on all the social medias. Remember, we're live on 4 different chat platforms right now, similar to our Friday streams. We're live on Twitch, TikTok, we're live on Facebook, and we are live on the lovely channel of YouTube. But let's get into it a little bit. Let's see what's going on. I forgot I was going to post on TikTok. Oops, I'm going to do that first. TikTok, it's kind of funny. You have to, they kind of like really highly recommend that you post right before you go live just to be able to get your followers to actually see a video of yours to see the live stream. Very interesting, but we posted it. All right, let's see what's going on. Jim Cornell with the first comment of the day. What's going on, Jim? 2 live streams in a week. Yes, I know. It's a crazy week. Bravada full urethane racket league now. Oh boy. Aggie, what's the combined IQ of the USBC? Vanna, what's going on? Let's see. John, I don't understand why the direct hit was banned. Yeah, that's a good place to start right now. So first thing we're going to do is talk about why non-urethane balls were banned. So the reason non-urethane balls were banned was this isn't about it being the urethane cover stock, right? Because urethane cover stocks from 30 years ago, they wouldn't do all that much. But we need to broaden the scope. So we're thinking like, let's see. I do. We're using the whiteboard, baby. Let's go. All right, let me open the whiteboard. Hold on. I had all my timestamps for my Arsenal video that's going out, and there were like, we had an hour-long video. So, all right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We have this, right? Don't worry about the chamois. That's my idea for a chamois in the future, a little sneak peek. But we have this giant circle. This is all of the stuff that USBC mentioned, the slow oil absorbing high performance bowling balls. Urethane is just a subset of that at the end of the day. So they have all of this group. This is all that got banned. Urethane included in that. That was only a part of it. Now, urethane was a much larger part, and the main reason this is coming up, but that is why the torpedo direct hit was banned, because the direct hit is a high-performing ball because it has that giant asymmetrical core in it. The ball is not made for spares. The ball is not made for entry level. That is what they considered high performance, because the axe and the mix and things like that are urethane, they don't absorb oil very quickly, but they're not high performing. Same with your plastic balls. Those aren't high performance balls. Their goal isn't to get you to hook the world with them. Their goal, hey, Kayla, thank you for the heart me. Their goal is just, those are entry-level bowling balls. So that is why the direct hit is there. The direct hit, ironically, kind of shot itself in the foot in a few ways, because it's like it has that plastic-like cover stock, that like barely reactive cover, but that massive core. So if it didn't have the massive core, it would have been fine. Because it has the torpedo core, see you later. Same with the Spy. Spy is going to be on that list as well. I should preface, by the way, all the bowling balls that are on the list, I did find out from USBC, it's getting updated daily. It is already updated with a lot more bowling balls. So they're still working through bowling balls, putting them all on this list. So very crazy in that regard. Unfortunately, for some reason on TikTok, let's see, no other chat settings. There we go. Unfortunately, I need to not see when people are joining because that is taking up my feed. Actually allow pop up. Okay, there we go. No, actually everything is right. Weird. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry about that. All right, let's see. Duncan, does that mean I can't use my Columbia 300 Stingray as my spare ball for nationals? Do you know if the 900 Global Badger infused also counts? Let me look at those two bowling balls that you mentioned. So the first one was the C300 Stingray. I feel like the Stingray was an entry level ball, right? Oh no, that was technically urethane. So that's the toughest piece that they're going through right now. The biggest issue with this entire thing is that they are not they don't have oil absorption rates from a lot of those older bowling balls. The issue is oil absorption is a very new thing in bowling, so they haven't been tracking oil absorption rates because they didn't know if it would affect much since 2018. 2018 was the first time they started to test for these absorption rates, so they don't have any information before that. They're still going through a lot of those older bowling balls to figure out what's going to be happening. Odds are that they are not going to be allowed, but again, that's very up in the air right now. Still up in the air on that regard. Noah Pick, laying out a ball for a senior, 5 up, 1 average, Storm Equinox. Yeah, for this one quick, house shot gets burned up quickly before the end of game 1. If it gets burned up before game 1, go down to like an Ember or a High Road will be your best play. Aggie, Zach won't be able to use his meme ball at nationals. Oh no. Oh darn. Not the direct hit. No. If there were to be any ball that I would be upset with being on this list, the torpedo direct hit is not, unfortunately, crazily enough, not that one. I did throw it at League last night, by the way. I still hate it. I threw it 4 frames. I went Brooklyn, so I moved a bunch left, and I pocket 4-9'd. Like, all right, I'm just gonna move like 1 left, and I swisher 7-pin, leave a 7-pin. And then I'm like, all right, I think I'm in the right zone. I'm going to slow down just a titch. And 3-6-10 on the last ball. And I said, nope, and put it back in the bag. It was wild. I had like that. It's crazy. It is crazy. John, congrats on the share. Randy, congrats on the share. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was honestly really cool to see that USBC was reached out and watched the video pretty quickly. It was last night that they did, because I posted the video at like 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. So it was really cool to see that USBC reached out and wanted to share it, wanted to actually interact with the content creators in bowling. That's something that, unfortunately, we haven't seen from any of the ball companies for me a lot right now. Now, a couple of them have had certain people, but it's cool that USBC themselves officially reached out. That was very, very cool and surreal moment. Something I didn't think would happen, just because I just started this channel a little while, like over a year ago, and just trying to just help the bowlers, and USBC saw that, which is really awesome. I was wild. Matthew, scale 1 to 10, how happy are you that direct hit is banned? 972. Derek, what's going on? RJ, why are they banning the direct hit? Everybody has the direct hit. I love it. Wayne, be honest, you're devastated that direct hit is banned. You're looking forward to, dude, I had 4 of them. I ordered 4 of them. I had them all. I was going to drill them 4 different ways. One of them I wasn't even going to drill. I was just going to have it for my wall, but I had to cancel my orders. Sad. Very disappointing. Caleb, do you think the 78U looks better when it rolls in the gutter or the purple hammer? I will admit the purple hammer has a better colorway. It's gorgeous colorway. I think the IQ78 would look good shiny. That like maroon color would look good shiny, but dull it just doesn't. I don't like it. It isn't a good looking dull ball. Vanna, thank you for all the information. Absolutely, Vanna, always here to help. Steven, I was wondering what the ban means for USBC certified leagues. My understanding was that it doesn't affect those unless the director says otherwise. Correct, exactly. So for any league bowlers, USBC league, non-USBC league, same exact thing. There are no new rules. Absolutely nothing. You can still throw whatever you want. For everybody who was around back in like 2022 during the hardness issues with storm bowling, this is being treated just like those bowling balls, is a good way to think about it, where it doesn't affect 99% of competition. You just cannot throw them in USBC national competition is the big one, national championship competition. Now, while that list is very, very confusing at times, if you don't read it and you just see like a long list of tournaments, you don't have to worry. Most of us here do not have to worry. You can throw whatever you want at league yet. Now, the big thing is, I think this is going to open the door for a lot of leagues to look into. Do we want to ban urethane or not? Now, I am and always will be a strong advocate against urethane in league. Now, for spares, of course, whatever, but that is really not the place to be able to shoot that 220 average if you're trying to improve that bit by bit. It just generally is not the right play. While you'll hit the pocket a lot, you're not going to carry a lot. But either way, USBC leagues, USBC tournaments, you don't have to worry about. You're good to go as a bowler. You can, unless you're tournament director, unless your league all votes on banning urethane, on not having urethane. Now, I have heard of a lot of leagues already going down that route. So it's interesting. I'm curious if how many leagues actually go through with that versus how many don't. Let's see. Kaya, not much. Started fall leagues last night. Nice. I was able to get into the very full Thursday night. Hysteria is so amazing. Hysteria is so good. Hysteria is absolutely goated. Let's see. Trapstar, what's going on? I do good with the IQ78 first game. After that, I'm stuck. That's the biggest issue with urethane when you're using it, is when you know when to switch is impossible. It's so difficult to do. Usually you end up running into a wall and split a couple times before you make that switch. But the best thing to do is switch to a stronger, solid bowling ball, a reactive ball like a Rockstar, Ion Max, Criterion, Primal Ghost, things like that. Sam, Hammer angry. Hammer is not angry at all. They are very, very... I know Brunswick put out all of their posts of like, we're appalled by USBC's choice. They have to try to save sales. They have to be like, I'm very against this. This is bad. Because it affects their bottom dollar is really the big reason why they're doing that. Now, the points they made have never been proven. Make sure to keep that in mind. For a misinformation thing, I'm sorry, Brunswick, but they have not actually proven that urethane does not get softer. They have not proven that urethane is not the issue. So take that with a grain of salt with a lot of that stuff going on. Jake, did you see the new Mega Evo? I don't think there was. I know the Mega Halucha was announced last week or so, 2 weeks ago, but it looks like a Malamar maybe? Waves, got my first turkey this weekend. Congratulations, that is awesome. Freaky, the TDH is not high performance. I mean, it is. And that's the hard thing. It technically is because of that core. If the core was smaller, I bet it wouldn't be. But because the core is so big, it's a big ASIM core, it has to be. See, Jack, do you know the rules on coaching? I'm still waiting to receive my level 1 test, but I have someone who really wants a lesson. No, you're fine. There are no rules for coaching. You can coach whenever you want. The certification is just like, hey, I passed my tests, which makes me a little more qualified. But no, you're fine. Kurt, what's going on? Missed live Wednesday. Got stuck in another league 3 nights in a row. That's crazy. That's wild. Gemini, didn't see my radical double cross, so I'm guessing it's not going to be soft / not too hard. So the double cross, let's check quick. I did get the new list from those guys. It is still technically not on the list. However, I am going to assume that it's going to be on the list. It is urethane. They did advertise it as urethane. So I'm guessing it's slow oil absorption. They're still going through everything to decide. So we'll know more in a couple of days. Duncan, why did Motive Ascend get banned and is only for that one color? That is really interesting question. I did see that, and I forgot to ask that when I was talking to them of why only one colorway. But the Ascend makes sense. It is that low-end bowling ball, but the core is weirdly big. Like, if I remember right, the Motive Ascend has a pretty gnarly big core. It is like 260037 or 024. Why do they have two numbers? 023, 259023. Why are the numbers different everywhere? I don't know. But because it's just that little bit stronger is why it's on the list. I don't know why the others aren't, though. I'm guessing it's off of oil absorption, where the others must absorb oil quicker. I'm guessing it's right on that edge of the 90 minutes is my assumption. KLC, how does the impact the purple urethane widow, pink urethane widow? The pink urethane is officially on the list, and the pink urethane, it cannot be thrown in national competitions or the tournaments that they mentioned. Now, again, this only matters because if you bowl any of those competitions. If not, you're A-okay. RJ, that means can't use my DH on league, especially on birthday burnt pattern. No, you can still use it. That's the biggest thing is you can still use these bowling balls whenever you want. You're A-okay. But for nationals, for USBC Open Championship, Women's Championship, a couple things like that, you can't use it. Those are the big ones that you have to think about. Z, is the 78U actually banned? No, the 78U is not banned. No urethane is officially banned. They are only not allowed in certain tournaments. They are still allowed in almost all bowling competition. There were virtually zero changes that happened. Brett, how is it that no matter what we do, the direct hit always ends up getting a spotlight? I didn't even try this time. That's the best part. It was just the weird ball included. I even mentioned that ball to USBC. Like, hey, so Radical posted about their torpedo direct hit. So it's interesting that you guys went towards like not just urethane. They said, yeah, the oil absorption is the issue. Hey, Nerdy Bowler, thank you for the heart me. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. Duncan, what about the Badger Infused? That was the 70% ball. I don't know. I don't believe it's on the list as of right now. Let me check, though. Sam, sorry, I'm not taking on guests right now. Apologies. But hit me up and maybe we will in the future. The Honey Badger urethane from 2018 is banned. It is on the list, and it's only banned for the tournaments. Let's see, Noah, what layout would you recommend for the Equinox? Long pin, 5-inch, probably 50 by 5 by 40, something like that. Jack, I think the TDH would be good if you had different revs, different speed, different rotation, different layout, different grip, different release, or maybe just use a different ball. Exactly. Joseph, so wait, that means all purple hammers are illegal in national tournaments. So, yes, with an asterisk on national tournaments. So there's a very small subset of tournaments, which I should have right here, that it is not allowed. So it will not be allowed for the US Open, USBC Masters, PWBA Tour, entirely PWBA Tour, U22 Masters and U22 Queens, USBC Intercollegiate Team and Singles Championships. So that's the ITCs, ISCs. USA Bowling National Championships, USBC Open Championships, USBC Women's Championships, Bowlers Journal, Senior Masters, Super Senior Classic, Senior Queens, and the Youth Open Championship. So the purple hammer can be thrown almost all the time except for those tournaments that I mentioned. Now, out of all the people here right now, I don't think many of us actually bowl many of those tournaments. The big one is USBC Open Championships, but otherwise, a lot of us don't bowl those other tournaments. Now, which is ironic because a lot of the people that are outraged right now are ones who don't bowl any of those tournaments. So it doesn't affect a lot of people. Joseph, we hit. Scott, hey, happy Friday, Scott. Good to see you. Aggie, so what's your opinion for two-handers at Nationals and Open, or Nationals or the Open Championships? The 78 hardness bowling balls are still legal. So the IQ 78 and the Black Hammer are still good to go, but I don't think, I've bowled the Open Championships for about 5 years straight now, or 6 years straight. Urethane has never been the option. Urethane has been the option, I think, one time in the last couple of years, but otherwise, it's not a good look. Nick Hoagland, who is the main lane manager for all of USBC, is getting really good at blocking out urethane. Like this year, there were some guys who posted that they were throwing urethane. Some of them posted long videos of them throwing urethane, and it ruined the shot for them and their team. It ends up limiting you because it was not the right play this year. So I would be wary bringing it because you might not need it. There are other balls that might look better for you. Kai, I started with my ghost and was getting into the pocket, but carry was not great. Ah, that's when the hysteria is best. Absolutely. Jim, sorry I had a call. What's the best layout for a 78D hammer for an ultra speed dominant right-handed bowler? So that's the big thing is all of really every urethane yet, 78 hardness or not, now excluding the IQ. So the three main ones, the pitch black, the purple hammer, the black hammer, you want to drill strong. 4-inch pin, 3 3/4-inch pin, something like that, with a small val angle, 30 degrees, 20 degrees, somewhere around there, because that is what will give your ball that little bit of extra flare, little bit of extra kick down lane. Now, being super speed dominant, urethane might not be the play for you. You might be wanting a big, strong asymmetrical ball instead. Brooke, what's going on? Belmo's response is exactly my thoughts. Junior gold rules don't make a bit of sense. So I have some really good junior gold news for this year already. They already have it officially ready to go. Junior gold, you can change your bowling balls between qualifying and match play / finals. That is what this rule is doing. So it is changing the rules, changing what you do just a little bit, where you can change your bowling balls. So you can bring urethane, throw it into qualifying, get into match play, and then you're going to have those new oil patterns. You're going to be able to bring new bowling balls to that portion of match play and the finals. So big change right now for junior gold, which is kind of a unique change. It's similar, I believe. I don't remember if the US Open is like that. I shouldn't say anything because I'm not positive. I thought US Open was like that. I might be very wrong. Also, Sea Waves, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate it. Let's see. Antonio, what's your favorite Storm release this year? Zen 25, definitely. Ember's getting up there though. But Belmo's response, I do have to state a little bit of personal disappointment in Belmo's response, because he was upset the first time they talked about it, and he said urethane needs to stay, and it's about lane intact, and it's about making better patterns. For the record, Kegel came out publicly and said, we can't make better patterns. We've tried for years, and you just can't stop it. It's impossible. And so Belmo came out and was upset of it. But then Belmo came out and was upset for the non-ban. So I don't know. Belmo was being, yeah, it was interesting. Tony Hardware, Purple Hammer is all good. Yeah, Purple Hammer is fine for almost all competitions. 99.9% of bowling competitions, the Purple Hammer is A-okay with no problems. Joe, what categories of balls should I get for my high school season? We bowl on house, like 10 plus houses. Watch one of my my new league videos, the league top 5, and those should be able to help you out, Joe. Kyle, thoughts on allowance at certain tournaments, but not further down the line. So yeah, the idea with their ban is, the way I was seeing it, was that their goal was to try to limit it at high level competition. That's why they're not allowing it at the Masters, the Open, all PWBA, and that's why they don't want to take away urethane from youth. One of the biggest things that I was hearing from either ball manufacturers or higher ups in bowling was, if you take away urethane, you're going to drop the amount of youth that bowl. Now, that's a bold claim, very bold claim. There aren't many facts behind it. USBC actually went against that in their official research report. I highly recommend everyone check it out. Where they said there was a tournament in Asia where they banned all urethane. It was a U22 tournament, and they sold out instantly. They sold out faster than they have previously. Now that's one sample size, of course, not the greatest to use, but that's still a point. So that is why they said, we are still allowing it for all youth. You can still use the urethane, but the minute you get to that high level competition, the minute you cut it down to that smaller field, that's when we want it. That's when we need you to be a more versatile bowler. We need you to not throw urethane for 50 games straight at something like junior gold. That is what their goal is to really reward the versatility of bowlers. And to show that, because the biggest push right now, as Anthony Simonson stated, is, hey, youth bowlers don't have any touch. They can only throw urethane. That's all they do. And this is trying to stop that to a certain degree. Let's see. Jaybird, what's going on, man? Going live on a Friday. Yes, we are live on a lovely Friday today, just to try to talk about all things urethane. Hey, Tori, glad you made it. What's going on? Marlo, what's going on, man? Weighing up the oil to 60 mils 1-to-1 and only allow urethane. Ugh. You would, if you did that, you would see every single 500 plus rev rate bowler sweep the field, absolutely dominate the field. James, I thought it was a video and not a live stream. You didn't miss much, James. Don't worry. Just talking all urethane question, trying to answer every single urethane question possible. Don, what's going on? I'm safe with urethane. You are. Yeah, you're A-okay, and if you don't bowl nationals or anything, you're fine. To Joe, USBC, you should have gone for the head pin. They didn't snap anything, is the thing. James D, I have the yellow jacket, carbide, and purple. I'm planning on bringing him to national. So I'm pretty sure the purple is not allowed. So as of making this video, Motive only has the Ascend and the Tank Rampage Pearl on the list. So I don't know if they've tested the yellow and the carbide and all those. They are not on the ban list yet. Now, Nationals is 8 months away at this point, 7 months away at this point. So I wouldn't pick what you're bringing right now, James, but I would keep checking that list to see what ends up happening. They're still adding to the ban list daily just to see what actually absorbs oil quickly, going through their records, all that jazz. Don, I mainly use urethane for spares. So my spare game. Oh, yeah, we had that. Marlo, are urethane from overseas banned? Yes. Overseas urethanes are also not allowed, again, solely in those national tournaments. They are allowed in all competition, minus those very specific subset of tournaments. Corey Casey, Clifton, prefer urethane. Yeah, Wayne, how long until the PBA has a urethane tournament like they used to have for plastic? Never. I do not see that ever happening. As you can see, everyone is trying to get away from urethane. The writing is on the wall for getting away from the urethane game because urethane dominated bowling for the last 8 years at this point. It has really been just purple hammer fest for high level competitions of bowling. We all can admit that. We all can look at it. Everybody in bowling can admit that the purple hammer and pitch black and urethanes have dominated high level competitions for years now, years and years. So I don't see that ever happening. I would see a plastic tournament coming first, but it doesn't really sound like that's going to happen because I know Stu and Chris, I think, discussed it once, and they're like, yeah, the two-handers are going to be the top 25 people in it, and then the rest of the field will be one-handers because a plastic tournament really comes down to rev rate. That's why Belmo was whacking people when he was bowling them. Hey, Billy, what's going on? I love using my Vibo. What would be a nice compliment to it? I would go, I mean, a Rockstar is a good option. Looks like you're a little slower speed, more rev dominant. Yeah, you could go something like a Rockstar. I think a Cove might be a little better for you, in all honesty. Right, let's keep checking out. Why everyone like purple urethane hammer? Yeah, the reason purple hammers have become so big, they are such a unique bowling ball where they are a ball that hooks early, very smooth down lane, but still continues through the pins really well. So what that does is it gives you extra miss room than what you would have with reactive on hard patterns. Now, easy patterns, it doesn't. Hard patterns, it does. It can give you 2 to 6 more boards of miss room. This is something that's been scientifically proven by creating the difference, and this is something I can give a personal touch to. As a guy who bowls amateur tournaments, sometimes urethane just feels like a cheat code where you have like this much room with it and you just can't miss. Where a reactive ball, you would not be doing what you could be doing on that. So that is why it's so big. It is a very easy way to score on hard patterns is the thing. Game 1, game 2 on a really hard pattern, the best option is to throw a urethane. And the purple hammer is the best urethane on the market for the last like 8 years or so since it came out. Tony Hardware, Hysteria is good. Hysteria is goated. Zachary, how do you feel about the RSTX1? It's a bit old at this point, but it was really good. Tony, anything on the new Motive spare ball? Yeah, they are. I think they already released. Not positive, or they're releasing soon. How does the black hammer compare to the purple? Yeah, the black hammer is one that's going to hook very late, but it's going to hook, later than a purple hammer, but be smoother just because it is harder. Let's see. Brooke. What I got from it is he's frustrated more with the uncertainty, having no clarity, and leaving people even more confused. Also having no comments, so they can't have feedback. U18 guys will go down. So it will go down a bunch if they ban urethane. It's everyone else who can't beat that, who like those tournaments. I bowl no urethane tourney, and U18 guys was small. Yeah, no, that's the biggest issue right now that a lot of people are addressing, where it was a little unfortunate hearing some high ups in bowling who are thinking the youth movement will actually decrease with urethane being taken, where I don't know. It has become a crutch. It is very much a crutch to a lot of people in a lot of ways. The first option in a lot of situations is urethane for a lot of people. You take that away, they don't know what to do because the moves are different. That's a big thing to remember. But no, I get his uncertainty. It's a tough situation. So all of the companies behind the scenes were in the know and were in conversation with USBC. I can confirm that. A bunch of ball manufacturers, Kegel, a bunch of, in the research report, they stated they brought back a ton of people. Let me read exactly who it all was. I think I have it up. Yes, I do have it up. Okay. Let's see. Oh, where was it? It was pretty far down, I think. It was like 2020, their 2025 portion. There it is. The tampering concerns, which were I'm still upset about that. In May 25, they brought together a cross section of industry experts, past ball designers, distributors, pro shop operators, past tour representatives, lane pattern specialists, and past USBC leaders. They all brought together. So there's a lot of people in the know, just not us as bowlers. Maribeth, what's up? Yeah, so I get it. Belmo, it's wild to say, but Belmo was not a guy that they were going to go to for that. The hard thing with people who are currently bowling, like the different thing with bowling in this way is bowling, everyone's still doing it when a rule is made. A sport like baseball, when they make a rule change, no one is affected except for those, couple hundred players that are in the league. Bowling, everybody involved is affected. So everyone always, of course, will have personal interest in mind. A guy a guy who wins a lot on tour, say a Jacob Buttra, for example. Of course, he doesn't want the Purple Hammer banned. He didn't want the hardness banned. He's been struggling since then. Now, causation doesn't equal correlation. There could be other reasons, but when you have a personal stake in it, your opinion is going to be one way or the other. For people who can't throw urethane, they're not going to like it. People who don't have the Purple Hammer they're going to love a ban. Belmo has won a lot of tournaments with urethane. He was one of the best players on tour with urethane for a long time. So he's going to be very upset with it. But yeah, the no comments, by the way, is because of how awful they were in the survey post. While it does look shady, yes, I get part of it. If you guys read back those comments, they are disgusting. They are bad. It is a bad side of the internet that came out. For that. So I understand that as a content creator, and seeing content creator posts like that, like it's a fairly common thing to turn off comments in those situations when it's just not good stuff that's being said. Let's see. Ricky, what's up? Triple X bowling tonight. 218 game. Nice. Ricky, my league banned urethane. I don't throw it, but still. So that is the interesting piece, is that leagues are now going to ban urethane more and more. I very much can foresee a lot of USBC certified leagues and captains saying, we're not allowing this. Now, it's not a USBC rule. They can do whatever they want in the league. Even non-certified leagues, this can still happen. So if you don't certify in the league, your league can still make these rules. They can still say there's no urethane. That's a-okay. Yeah, Wilson, I understand why comments were turned off. 100%. If you've read any if you've been part of any posts that are going to be controversial, you can see. Just look at any political post and read the comments for 30 seconds, and it hurts. That is what the USBC's post looked like. I'm very, very surprised in bowlers in a bad way that they had some wildly colorful words to use. Wow. Let's see. Where do we catch up over here? Tori, gone. Purple is a ball up, moves a lot more. Oh, gone. There you go. Yeah, perfect. Ricky, Rev Dominant 2-hander. I need a ball down from the UC2 and Stealth Hybrid. I think Torpedo is a great choice. Or sorry, not Torpedo. Typhoon. Typhoon. My bad. I think that could be good. Marlo, is it really a versatility issue, or is it not everyone can purchase as many bowling balls as others could? Thinking maybe that could be the reason. That is a big one that no one has addressed except for me, which is weird. So there have been multiple different runs of the Purple Hammer. There were back when before 2021, when Ebonite was going bankrupt and Brunswick bought them out, there were the Kentucky poured Purple Hammers. Those are the best Purple Hammers in the world. They are softer than everything. Has been confirmed. They're still legal, but they're softer than every other urethane on the market. Then there were the Brunswick ones that have been coming out, and then there's the Brunswick purple pin ones. So all companies like to get close to that line. And a lot of the Purple Hammers are very close to the line. USBC, I think I should find their exact comment. They had a hardness report of the original Purple Hammer pours that were happening in like 2016. There it is. The Purple Hammer was at a 72.07, the softest urethane in decades in August of 2016. That is one of the big reasons. So that is one of the big reasons the purple was so good. So that one is better. Now, you cannot buy old Purple Hammers. You have to buy, the purple pin ones, which are objectively worse. They are objectively harder and worse than the Kentucky poured Purple Hammers. That's the tough piece, is if you want to compete with a guy who has one of those old purples, you can't even buy it anymore. There are no undrilled ones on the market. So that's a tough thing. There are bowlers I know in my state right now who primarily use their urethanes in some way, shape, and form. And it is those original Purple Hammers that are objectively scientifically proven softer than all of the others. So that is one of the big issues, is that you just can't get those bowling balls anymore. So it is like a cheat code that no one else can get into. It's kind of a gatekeeping type thing. Jim Ward, what do you think of the new swag balls? Yeah, I was actually sent the Craze Hybrid and the Apex Pearl from Bowlersmart, so huge thank you to Bowlersmart. I am actually also a Bowlersmart affiliate. If you guys want to buy anything from Bowlersmart, make sure to click the link down below that sends you to the site. I get a little bit of a kickback, so thank you, Bowlersmart. But anyways, yeah, the Apex Pearl is very, very weak. Same with the Craze Hybrid. They're very smooth bowling balls. Smoothest bowling balls on the market from any brand, so that's something to really watch out for with those guys. Joe, is the magenta urethane any good? It's kind of purple-ish. I have no idea personally. I do not know much about that ball. I think it's a solid, so it's kind of all right. Jaybird, why not get rid of reactive and make everything urethane? That would destroy the sport of bowling. Absolutely. It is, I know, a very common comment by a lot of people is just get rid of the reactive balls. But right now, the world of bowling is on the shoulders of the bowling ball companies by a landslide. James, thank you for the follow. The bowling ball companies they dump so much money into the sport in so many ways. They are the reason the sport is still continuing to grow, is they have so much money. USBC doesn't really make money. If you look at their finances every year, they make very, very little. But the ball companies make a good amount of money, and they dump that back into bowling in a lot of ways. Brunswick and Storm and Motive, they all put a ton of money towards youth events. They put money towards open championships. They're just putting money everywhere. So if you get rid of that, those companies die off. They're gone. Storm, Brunswick, Motive, see ya. They will not be able to survive. You're going to see a lot of layoffs. They're going to have just one line pumping out just urethanes, basically. And bowling ends up falling down and getting demolished. If you ban, if a guy has a 5-ball arsenal and they have 4 reactives, you get rid of 4 of their 5 bowling balls, they're gonski. James, the way they're doing Junior Gold is confusing. So Junior Gold, it's a lot simpler, I think, once it's explained. Reading it is a little bit tough. But Junior Gold, basically, you can use any 78D hardness urethane, the IQ 78 and the Black Hammer, in qualifying. During your qualifying portion, you choose 5 bowling balls. As many of them as you want can be those urethane balls. Purple Hammer, you cannot use anymore. Pitch Black, cannot use anymore, right? I want to make sure I'm getting that right before I go off on that. I always forget. Junior Gold, yes. Okay, I am getting that right. All right. So like I said, Purple Hammer, Pitch Black, gone, Gonski. But Black Hammer, IQ 78, you can use in qualifying. You have, your 5 bowling balls you can choose. However, this year, they are going to be allowing you to choose 5 new bowling balls. You can pick whatever 5 bowling balls you want for the match play portion. Now, in that match play portion, you can't have any urethane. Any of these slow absorbing bowling balls cannot be thrown at all. But you can have 5 bowling balls, just none of them can be those. So that is what it means for this year. Yeah, exactly, Brooke. And that would mean the PWBA would again be gone. PWBA would not be able to function without, if you knock out the ball companies, you knock out USBC subsequently, bowling vanishes, unfortunately. So that's the very disappointing piece of it. Wilson, I think I saw night 1 of league, you shot 790. Nice, that's awesome. Loved it. That's still a great set. That's still awesome. James, yeah, we hit 1500. How'd your day go? My day was good. Yeah, it was a little hectic. Yeah, I was able to get some videos with I drilled a Rotogrip Rockstar. I was able to get one off the $90 deal that was happening last Friday for Labor Day. So I was able to throw that a little bit and drill it, and it looked awesome. That thing is going to be really fun to throw. I shined it a little bit. I put it to 4,000 grit, and it's going to be a perfect step down from a phase 2. I think that's going to be a fun combo because I love shiny symmetrical solids. I'm excited for that. Ricky, is a Typhoon weaker than a Hustle? It is not. No, the Typhoon's a little stronger. Yep, thank you, Wilson. Appreciate it. 1500 grit is the Gremlin Hyperdrive. An Ion Pro Solid, a good long-lasting 3-ball arsenal. Yeah, that looks really good, actually. I use reactive Purple Hammer, no longer available. Yeah, that's okay. The reactive Purple Hammer you can still throw, and that's one issue with bowling as well, where a lot of these old bowling balls you can't really throw, but reactive balls have a lifespan. That's the thing that's kind of keeping them in check. The big way to think about it is like, imagine bowling as like a video game in that way, where you have these, say you have a really good bowling ball come out, but the lifespan of it, that health bar just decreases as just over time. So over time and over throws, that health bar decreases. Urethane, that health bar increases as you throw it more because it gets softer and softer. Ranger, hey, thanks, Ranger, appreciate it. Brooke, that would mean, yep, PWBA. Didn't see that part. Just bought a purple in July solely for Junior Gold. Hey, but Brooke, I know you're still in school and haven't gone to college. The purple's still usable in school. So that's the big one and urethanes don't actually get worse. So you can have it forever. I still have my 2 original urethanes I've ever purchased. So I think it's still a smart purchase in my opinion, unless you got like a lighter one, but I think you're good. Let's see. Hefe, if not using urethane, give a more competitive environment. Why are people against the ban? That's a good question. The reasons against the ban have been very odd. The main reasons that I've seen so far are it has always been part of the game, and putting restrictions on bowling balls is bad. I've seen you cannot take people's bowling balls that they're throwing right now away. I've seen urethanes don't actually get softer, and it's something that everybody can use, so why take it? There's been a lot of responses from the world. Also, to Joe, thank you for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate it, man. I forgot to use your link when I got a Labor Day sale on that neon green Black Widow. Oh, don't worry, Joe. It's okay. That's all good. But thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Skate. The reason I'm going pin access on my symmetricals and 3/4 pin on my ASIMs is that they roll like urethane. They hit like a truck. And that's an option for a lot of lower rev guys and even high rev guys is short pin. Short pin can be really good for that. Is it urethane? No. Don, are they banning all urethane for PBA majors or just the high-level USBC tournaments? So they are banning all urethane for the USBC Masters and the US Open. Those 2 tournaments are weird because they're PBA tournaments, but they're actually run by the USBC. So any USBC high-level tournaments, you can't use urethane. PBA has not come out with any rules yet. I'm very, very interested to hear what Tom Clark has to say. Tom, if you're watching this, hit me up. I'd love to talk to you about this. I'm so curious to hear what PBA does. But as of today, you cannot use them at the US Open and USBC Masters, but you're allowed to use the 78 hardness ones on the PBA Tour. Now, we'll see if that changes, though. Gone, does Motive still make the Venom Shock? Yes, they do. Dr. or D Fish Bowl, or complain and adapt anyway. Bowlers are good at complaining. Luckily, that's what we're good at. Ralphie, rate my 3-ball arsenal. XL, Intense, and Arctic. Yeah, a couple strong and really weak. I like it. V, what's going on? I like to replace my Widow Mania. I was thinking the new RST. Yeah, they're going to be fairly similar. Definitely, so it's not a bad pick. Hey, Ma, what's going on? Seamus, what's the difference with pin up and pin down? Yeah, for a quick difference, pin up bowling balls are going to hook earlier and be stronger overall. Pin down bowling balls are going to hook later and be smoother. Isaiah, right after I shot 244 with my pitch black, practicing on the Team USA trial pattern. That's the surprising thing here. Team USA trials, the pitch black is still allowed, still available. So you can still throw it if you end up going to team trials. So don't worry about that. Don, I'll complain that the combat wheels, that combat is ridiculously. It's a good ball. It's going to be discontinued in 8 months because nobody knows it exists, but it's a really good ball. Isaiah, we hit First of Us. If they stamp the ball USBC ought to be able to use those balls. You want to ban a ball, don't stamp it USBC. Imagine the money the people lost in buying all that equipment. So that's been an interesting point, that said. If it doesn't break any rules, you can't ban it. That was another big argument against the urethane ban is USBC deemed it legal. So why would they, so they can't take it away. I don't want to make this the main point, but one way to look at it is what golf is doing right now. They are actually nerfing golf balls. If you haven't seen that, they are rolling back the tech in golf balls to try to make drives go less far. So they're actually taking that away. So for First of Us, that would say, well, this isn't fair. But that's how they're doing it. I think USBC could do the same thing with some of those older bowling balls if they're deemed to get better. Now, they had proof that purple hammers were getting softer and they were under the legal limit, but it wasn't enough to actually say, like, these have to go. But they were. So, yeah, very interesting. Sweet Baby, Jazzy B. If you had 2 similar balls like the Rockstar and GB5, what is the benefit of one that flares a lot versus the one that does not? The one that doesn't flare a lot is going to hook later, generally be sharper. So that was my goal with the Rockstar. I drilled it weaker than my Phase 2, but I also shined it to try to make it longer and sharper. Don, we can just travel back to 1991 if we want to see everyone using urethane, rubber, and plastic. Yeah, once we get that time machine made, I feel like a lot of people will go back and see that and like, oh, nope. Bowling's more fun with crazy bowling balls. But it depends on the person, too. Wilson, the hustle hooks more down lane. Yep. Ma, what do you think about the green Wolverine? The Wolverine's really good. Well, it's smoother than you think, but it's also clean. Brooke, my concern is junior gold women's patterns are such low volume, and I often have to start with urethane on short. Absolutely. That's one of the big things is what is this going to do to oil patterns? So oil patterns for like 7 years have been made with urethane in mind. Kego, when making an oil pattern, before urethane, they've always had things in mind. The right-handed approach, left-handed, then two-handers came in. You had to plan on two-handers. How are two-handers going to break down the pattern? How are lefty two-handers? Is it going to break down too much? Not enough. Then you bring in urethane. How does urethane play on it on the right? How does urethane play on it on the left? So there's been a lot of patterns that have made to try to combat urethane, be against urethane. So I don't know how those are going to be with less urethane, but at the end of the day, it's available to be used in most tournaments. Junior gold is going to be interesting. I don't think they're going to put out a short pattern. I mean, they might put out one in qualifying just to see what happens, but I don't think they would for the advancers round. Now, that is an equipment thing too. So I think pro shops, it would be great to have more educational sessions with pro shops on what to do in those situations, because urethane is not a low volume ball, but unfortunately a lot more pro shops than you'd expect believe that. A lot of bowlers do, but urethane is not a low volume ball. It looks okay on low volume, but there are better options. There's better, weaker options that are going to be good for everybody in that regard. Ralphie, urethanes not needing replaced is why the ball companies don't want to sell them. I mean, it kind of showed in, well, it's kind of interesting because, I mean, Hammer and Brunswick, they would love to because people are always buying multiple purples. Now, it's always interesting because you don't need more than one purple hammer. You buy one, yeah, and you're good for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I'm throwing mine from 2020, I think, 2019, somewhere around there. Like, it's still fine. There's no problems with it. It still hooks. It's better than it was the day I got it. Also because I plugged it and it was pinned down at the time. That was a bad choice, as I didn't know much about urethane at the time. But yeah, that they account for 6% of the ball sales right now. So when they were looking at ball bags, like for Junior Gold or the ISC and ITC, it was about 1 in 5 bowling balls were urethane. However, they only account for 6% of the sales in bowling. So I could see, I can't confirm or deny if any bowling ball companies were against it because of that. I have no idea, but like just going through the steps, it would make sense. Wilson, the junior gold rule makes no sense. Have it for qualifying, but not for the advancers. Yeah, it's, I mentioned a little earlier, but yeah, I get it because the goal is that they don't want youth to quit because they like urethane too much and they can't score with other stuff. That's actually a reactionary effect to two-handing, ironically. When you're highly rev dominant, what is going to give you that control? Urethane. And that's where like those player development issues come up, because if you're able to throw urethane for your entire youth career, you never actually get good with being able to not be as rev dominant because you can just get away with urethane. So their goal is, we don't want to take away urethane for qualifying for all bowlers. But once you get to that high level, you need to know at that point, if you make it there, how to bowl without urethane is their big one. It helps promote versatility, and the more versatile bowlers will win compared to the one who can throw the purple hammer the longest. Are chillin', so we can't use it in Reno next year. Correct. You cannot use the purple hammer or the pitch black in Reno for 2026. You can use the IQ78. You can use the black hammer. I don't really recommend using those. Usually, urethane doesn't look good at nationals, but if you want to, play your heart out. New blue can you use? I did not see the new blue on the list quite yet. So I believe the new blue is still A-OK from what I've seen. It must absorb enough oil. First of us, maybe they ought to make AMF balls again. Yeah, no, AMF is very much not a company that is going to make a bowling ball ever again. They are not in a good spot for that. Marlowe, I don't even know I think they're still with Quebec, so they're fine, technically. Marlowe, what ball is currently the nearest that reacts like urethane? The NU balls are going to be really good, and the level. So the Rattler NU, which is now discontinued, the new blue from Hammer, which is not discontinued, and then the level. Brendan, new blue. Yes, new blue you can still use. It's Amazing Robin betting on the new Deviate being a shiny heckler. Didn't they post that it was a solid? I'm pretty sure they said like it's big or dull or something. I'll check out their Insta quick. Instagram. Who am I looking up? Deviate bowling. They said something is coming. No, that is 100% a dull ball. Yeah, that is. They also say a solid addition. So a solid addition made me immediately think, oh, that's a solid ball. So I would assume it's not a solid heckler. Well, the heckler, I don't remember. I think the heckler was hybrid. Not positive though. Gone, does Motive still manufacture? Yes. Steve N is the black hammer from 1990. We don't know yet. We're not positive yet. They haven't gone that far back in their in the records. Rod, what are the typical layouts used for urethane? Yeah, it's generally really strong layouts. 4-inch pin, 3 3/4-inch pins, and then about a 30-degree val angle. Matthew Peralta, starting League Sunday. Bring my Rockstar and Typhoon. Love it. Good luck. Good luck. Don, did you bowl League this week with the voted balls? I did. I shot a steamily bad 608. I started with the Cove. I hit the pocket almost every shot with the Cove. The Attention Star was just weird. And then the Torpedo Direct Hit was bad. So yeah, 608 total. Missed a couple of spares, which was not good. Marlowe, top 5 or 3 balls you think that are underrated? Combat, I think, is going to be high on that list. I think the Cove deserves to be on, or Ember, I would say, deserves to be on that list. Go with those two just for now. Kurt, I'm so stuck right now. I love the Hyro 40, but I want the record to go in between the Star and BRY. I think it's a little too close. Sorry, I think it's a little too close to the other stuff. Wilson, drink for tonight. It is an Alani Dream Float. It's just orange dreamsicle. Really good, actually. Let's see. Once you get that high, you need not rely on urethane, but I do agree you should be gone. I agree, however, with the argument earlier, U18 guys depend so much on urethane, and there would be as many guys if they ban it altogether. Yeah, that's one of the big ones is there is a heavy reliance on urethane right now. Just go to any sport shot that you go to, any amateur tournament, you will see a lot of the urethanes. Brooke, that 35 feet, 19 mils is crazy. I wish they would realize women bowlers have gotten so much better. That one was crazy. I couldn't, that one was bad. In the Midwest too was bonkers. That was a bad choice. We don't need the help. There's no more true long patterns. No, I know. I'm a little surprised by that. USA Trials had it. Team Trials had that. Team Trials had some good patterns, in my opinion. Big B, my purple hammer is a green pin and manufactured in 2017. Does that make it one of the manufacturer at the old ebonite factory? Yes, it does. Yeah, it is an ebonite one. One way you can tell if a hammer ball was an ebonite ball is if it says made in the USA underneath the hammer logo. If it says made in USA, then it's an ebonite ball or an old ebonite ball. Larry Tripp, what are your thoughts on the Cove? I like the Cove a lot. It's super smooth. It acts like a solid. Don't think of it as a hybrid. It's just a weaker, super smooth ball. Trent, I have an RST Hyperdrive Gremlin Rip. What's my next ball for League? I would go something solid below the Hyperdrive, like a Rockstar, Phase 2, Cove, all good options. Hefe, I understand it doesn't break the rules, but urethane changes how the pattern is played. It does, yes. Urethane breaks the lanes down vastly different than reactive because urethane, what it does is it basically just snowplows oil to the pocket is how it ends up breaking down patterns. So it ends up causing carry to get really weird. It ends up causing breakdown to be really weird. It extends patterns all the time. Now, you're going to have a lot of people over on the YouTube world who I don't think watch my stuff, but saying that, hey, no, it's all low flaring equipment. Yes and no. Yes, low flaring equipment does make oil push down. However, the urethane cover stock of it pushes oil to the head pin further. That has been proven. Amazing Robin, shiny solids are in. Oh, absolutely. Did Joe, do counterfeit bowling balls exist? Not that I've ever seen, no. There are illegal ones that are still floating around. The Storm Spectre, for example, you can't throw that even in League anymore because it was designed too soft. But no. Billy Whitaker, regular leagues you can use urethane. Yes, you can still use urethane in your regular leagues. No problems there. Wilson, when I bowled junior gold back in the day, there was no urethane. Yeah, and it's rough. I mean, a 2-to-1 pattern without urethane, I'll admit, is really hard. I hate it. Using urethane is so much easier. Like, next sport shot tournament I bowl, I'm bringing urethane every time, and I'll probably throw it first. Donovan, does Motive have any urethane? They don't have any true urethane. They have 0 true urethanes. They have their microcell polymer, which is trying to act like urethane. They do have the purple tank, which was deemed as true urethane. It's not on USBC's list yet of banned balls, which is surprising, though. Let's see. Yeah, Brooke has the perfect point that Anthony Simonson has said many, many times over. So Brooke and Simo have a lot in common. I wish we never had urethane. I was kind of forced into it because you often can't beat it. And that is exactly what Simo said, is you can't beat urethane with anything else. You have to join them. When people complain, like, why do you use urethane then? Well, if you're on the PBA tour, if you want to compete and win, if the worst thing you can do when everybody around you is throwing urethane is not throw urethane. You are not going to score if everybody around you is snow plowing oil down lane and you're trying to go against it. It's a bad idea. You are not going to score well. So if everybody around you is throwing Thane, make sure to throw Thane. John, my first urethane was the AMF Cobra. I donated it to the high school back when I picked up my pitch black in 2021. That is an old ball to send back. Was it a 16 too? I mean, everything was 16 when that Cobra was around. Ace, how do the rule change affect urethane balls like Tank, New Blue, etc.? So what they based it on is they based it on how quickly the ball absorbs oil, because that encompasses urethane and other bowling balls like urethane. The new balls, they do absorb oil, just much slower. However, the new balls have not been banned yet, the NUs. The tanks have also not been banned, minus the tank Rampage Pearl. The tank Rampage Pearl was the closest thing we got to urethane from Motive. So that is where those are at right now. Ricky with the TDH hook for me, 15 miles an hour, 400 rev. Absolutely, 100%. John, 608 could have been worse. I split 11 times. That's insane. That is a lot. That's a lot of splitting. Let's see. Julia, I love my Ruby, but changed weights. Any recs for a similar ball? Yes, the IQ AI. It's green and black. IQ Tour AI is basically like a Ruby, a little stronger, a little sharper. The house is coming to Temecula. Is that true? I don't know where they're going, honestly. Travis, what did you say about oil push? Yeah. So what urethane does is it picks up oil as it's going down a lane and pushes it down lane. It carries it towards the head pin. It acts like a snowplow for just pushing oil down lane. That's really what it does. Big B, my purple hammer says made in the USA. Then it is an ebonite one. Yeah, you're welcome, Julia. BL Hawk, top 3 choices: low rev bowler, heavy oil, Ion Max, Track Criterion, Jackalonics. RJ, is the Cove similar to the GB4? No, it's going to be a bit weaker. It's probably 3 or 4 boards weaker than a GB4, is how I would see it. Brian T, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Brooke, number 1 reason why I love all women's tourneys, we actually learned the pattern. Honestly, she's right. If you guys want to watch like true bowling on whatever the pattern is, go watch, Team USA trials on the women's side, PWBA Tour. You see them really play the pattern like how it's supposed to be, right? One of the funny things that the Kegel guys mentioned was we can make any pattern we want that it combats urethane. You put it overseas in Europe, you will only see people throw urethane. And if you put out a really hard pattern that is not made for reactive, nobody is going to figure it out if they throw reactive. However, on the other side, on the flip side, if you make a pattern that is supposed to be against urethane, the urethane players will still find a way. That ball just will find a way to strike a lot. So that's an interesting piece, is that a lot of the guy side is just, when in doubt, grab your urethane. 40 feet, Thane. 45 feet, Thane. 50 feet, Thane. I have seen it on 48 feet one too many times. James, do you think we'll see more asymmetrical patterns? Yes, we already are seeing more and more asim patterns to try to level the playing field between righty and lefty. That's the hardest thing to do in bowling, in all honesty. Try to limit that. You don't want the righties to run away with it. You don't want the lefties to run away with it. It's so hard to do. Like PBA Tour this year was really, really exaggerated because either no lefty made the cut or all the lefties were on the TV show and everyone got upset. There was no in between. Absolutely not. And that's because of the new urethane, and just urethane in general did that. Ace, where can you find a list of urethane and urethane like? Yeah, that is on bowl.com. If you look up bowl.com, USBC announces new national tournament rules regarding slow oil absorbing high performance ball use. It was an article that they posted on September 4th. There is a national tournament ineligible balls list link now. I might as well just chuck that into the chatty chat. I will have that in the YouTube chat. There you are. That is the current list of bowling balls. Let's see. Tori, sorry to ask again. I had a call. All good. Thoughts on changing surface on the Black Widow? 1,000 plus. Breaks too early for me. Am I looking, or am I looking at 7 pins lefty? So, breaks too early, or I'm looking at 7 pins. Yeah, that's the tough thing with urethane, is either you are going to have a really good look and strike at will, or you're going to leave every single corner pin under the sun. I would keep playing with the surface. You can never have too much surface on a urethane ball. If you put 500 on it, it's probably going to be okay yet. Yeah, Ricky, you are welcome. Gage, looking for a new ball, trying to stay under 130. After drilling, it's going to be a little tough to stay under that, but before drilling, you have a lot of good options. GB5 Pearl is 120 bucks right now. Typhoon is around that price. Ultimate Wrecker is around that price. None of the Motive balls are really around that price right now. A couple of really good options. 35-foot flat tourney I bowled Sunday. Top 3 through, urethane up 5. Yep. It's your only option. Yeah, it's sad to say this is a bad thing to admit to the world, but I don't know how I could play a pattern under 38 feet without urethane. It would be tough. I think I would have to throw it really hard to make that work. But otherwise, I rely on urethane heavily for those patterns. I will admit, as a bowler, I can't bowl on under 38 feet unless I have any of my urethanes with me. It's just too difficult. I don't know what I would do. I don't know the last time I've bowled on super, super short without urethane. So I would like to be able to throw other stuff on it, but when you have urethane, why bother? It really is how I see it. Hey, Nediaz, what's going on? What's your highest score? I've shot 300, a handful of 300s. Jaybird, my dad still has his Ebonite Thunderbolt. That's crazy. That's wild. Reese, I left 6 710s. That's so unfortunate. I am so sorry for that. That's not fun. Kyle, would excessively heavy oil and length possibly combat urethane? Unfortunately, it doesn't. The PBA Tour tried that this year. They put a ton of oil on the lane, but people just kept using urethane because urethane is the earliest hooking bowling ball on the market. If you hit urethane with 500 grit, it is going to hook still really, really early. So all they did is just put more surface on the ball. That was another Simo quote was, I mean, when I'm throwing my super strong ball and it's not hooking because there's too much oil, I have to go to my urethane because that's what everyone else is doing, and it actually shapes the lane. So to win, got to play the theme. G. Bryant, what's going on, man? Will the urethane restrictions in effect, do you think there will be new NU balls? I believe so. So Storm has hinted at this with their lab series and the level, is I think they're working towards that. Now, I don't know how long the bowling ball manufacturers had to know or knew that the urethane rule was going into effect in this way. I feel like Storm was prepping for a while for a urethane ban because they had that level come out. They announced the lab series, all that stuff. So I could see some NU-ish bowling balls coming out from that. Because really, if you did take away urethane, the ball companies are going to find something to be really good like urethane. Brooke, you mentioned Kegel talking about tampering. They mentioned Weber's own tampering. No, you will never get a peep out of them about that. Or, you know, Weber cheating a couple years ago, I think it was an ineligible player, or, you know, Wesley's beautiful drinking incident to get kicked off of a lot of things. I don't know if he got banned or kicked out of college tournaments for that one or not. But yeah, no, Weber has been notorious for having a lot of very sneaky and underhanded things that they did. When I made that video, I had a lot of DMs from former college players saying, hey, I got to tell you this story about something that Weber was doing when I was bowling against him. And yeah, they did that. And then the recent tampering bit is not good. Having a coach do that and that coach not being fired is insane. Insane. Machine, short pin Jackal Ghost on short. Yeah, short pin would be a play. Tori, IQ Tour on short. It could work. That's usually what people used to do before urethane got big, was throw an IQ Tour. G. Bryant, this weekend I'm in a 9-pin no-tap tournament. All proceeds go to charity. Looking to bowl my first 300. Hey, good luck, man. That's the time to do it. There's no money on the line. There's no pressure. Just pop off on a 300. Why not? Wilson, that should be good. All us guys want to do is throw urethane. Brooke, my sister was signed to Weber until their big blowout this year. I'll never see them the same. There's so much I could talk about. Glad she ended it. Glad she ended up at UAB. Ooh, I would be very curious. I can't imagine. I don't know whatever happened with their program disappearing either. I don't stick in the college game all that much. I didn't bowl in college, so I'm not too close to it all, but I'd be curious. Wilson, my good friend Matt Russo used to bowl with them and never heard anything about that. Interesting. Yeah, there was more than I expected. And of course, you know, you're going to have the rumors that happen, but this year's tampering was, I mean, proven by USBC and investigated very deeply. So, yeah, that one is true. And then of course, I forget who it was who got kicked out for his ineligibility. Man, what was his name? Oh, I forgot that. I forgot that situation. I don't remember it all that well. But again, yeah, exactly. Why would he? No one really will say bad things about their alma mater that often. Doesn't happen much. I do. Just know it's shady and so disgusting how they treated every woman a part of that team. I can't imagine. I would love for that news to break. Because there have been a lot of, yeah, there's been a lot of that. Kai, I would honestly love to see a very short pattern tournament that puts a ban on Thane, just see who can improvise. I would love that. We actually do that for a tournament that's around me. I posted about it a few times on the short form channels. We call it the tough as nails. What it is it's a really short pattern and a really long pattern on every single pair. So, left lane is short, right lane is long, and you only get 2 bowling balls that you can bring, but you cannot bring plastic, you cannot bring urethane, you cannot bring any balls like that, which is crazy. It's super fun tournament, by the way. Super, super fun. Also, Dan, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Really appreciate it, Dan. Yeah, love having you here, man. And congratulations to Tori, Epistemic, AK, Brian, and Tom for being now members to the ZVL channel. Thank you so much, Dan, for the gifted, and congratulations all those guys. And welcome to the ZVL channel. Glad to have all y'all. Couple longtime viewers, which is awesome. Kaya, that sounds like fun. So no plastic spare balls. Correct. You could not. You had to throw reactive at spares. It was crazy. Ro, what's going on, man? Let's see. Brooke. Oh no, we hit Brooke. Mr. Gray, what's up? Brooke, my sister and her teammate tried to post what happened. They got told by you know who to say they quit and left by their own choice. Why? No, we can't have that happen. We need that news to go public so people know what to avoid. Like, we can't have those things happen. Jonah, it's time to drill 4 more purple slammers. You can drill as many as you want, man. We need the T. I know. Dan, got you, bro. Thank you, Dan. You're the best. Yeah, Tori, welcome. Jim, I am saving the hill I will die on for string pins. I'm curious. Like, I feel like everybody should have to choose one or the other. Like, there's a lot of angry people with urethane. There's a lot of angry people with string pins. Like, we gotta have one, or you gotta pick one or the other. You can't have both. Like, that's not fair. You can't have cookies and cake. That's not right. That's just kind of selfish, right? You gotta pick one or the other. And Don throwing in the pineapple. I did fun fact. I did check Darren's last live or post. Because he's still posting all the time. It's just pineapples. Pineapples are the #1 comment all the time. He's still getting disliked into eternity. By the way, let me see. Check dislike ratios. I want to see if he's still getting absolutely clobbered. Oh, I have to put in the video. Okay, give me. I do want to find out. I know this is about urethane, but it's always entertaining to check. Always entertaining to check. 4 out. Oh, these are the best bowling balls of the year. Oh, that's a clickbaity title. He is at. Okay, it's only a 10% dislike ratio. Huh. Okay, maybe he is actually doing the ignoring process to get away from it. That's what you do as a content creator. If you get into a lot of trouble, you ignore it. Yeah, that is how it slowly goes away, or you hope it does, or it sticks with you forever. That's with a lot of bigger names. But I wish he would come out and actually truly apologize. Let's see. Jonas, we hit Brooke because someone that rhymes with well got shaken in his boots. Yep. Yep. I have heard stories of that individual, have met that individual, and am not surprised. Very disappointing. Very disappointing on that front. Because I think everybody posted like, oh, it was the school that cut him and all this. Yeah, but it sounds like it was more stuff. Heard stories too. Yep. Sad Shoe. Oh, wait, here we go. Sad Shoe, with your feet, J-Bell. I did not see J-Bell's comment, actually. Timing your swimming and powering through the slide step will speed up your throw. You want the power from your legs. Correct. James, there we go. Starting my fall leagues on Monday. We're bowling on the burn after a 4-person league. Oh, you're fine. Yeah, there's no such thing as burn for a lefty. Come on, it's always fresh. You're fine. Now, it'll be a little transition, but nothing crazy. That's all I'm going to say, and I know it's truly sad. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. All right. I think on that one, I wanted to keep today a little bit of a shorter stream. So I think on that one, we are going to end up calling it, guys. So I wanted to get a little bit more information to you guys, answer any quick questions we had about urethane before the misinformation train starts going down the tracks. Remember, if you learn anything from this stream, it is urethane is still legal in almost everything. Do not believe anybody who says it's fully illegal. It is not. It is not banned. It is only banned in certain competitions. When you have people that are coming out with things that you question a little bit, make sure to research them. Make sure to look into them. There's a lot of misinformation about bowling. Our overall goal is removing that. We need to get away from the people that are sending out this bad information. Some things that we know for sure. Yes, purple hammers are still allowed. Pitch blacks are still allowed in almost all competition. Yes, urethanes do get softer. And yes, urethanes do make a lane change very crazily. It is not just low flaring bowling balls. It is all urethane specifically does more to a pattern than low flaring bowling balls. But with that, I want to thank every single one of you for being here today. Really appreciate it. Love having all of you here in all of these streams. Thank you. This was a very last second, like quick stream. So I'm glad a lot of you still hopped in today. Really appreciate it. But we are going to say goodbye to you first, TikTok. TikTok, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Then we have YouTube, Facebook, and the Twitches. All of you guys, thank you so much again. We have a Arsenal video coming out tomorrow on Saturday. On Sunday, I'm going to have an RST Hyperdrive Pearl review. We were actually able to find a friend who is able to drill up a Hyperdrive Pearl. We'll have a review on it coming very soon, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I think we're going to have a couple Brunswick balls being announced next week. They're in their teaser cycle, and usually when they do that, new balls on Tuesdays. So be ready for Tuesday. We're going to have some new bowling balls getting announced, at least 3. We've had Hammer, we've had Deviate, and we had another company. Wasn't Brunswick. One of the other companies did one of their little teasers. Might have been Ebonite. It was Ebonite. It was Ebonite that made a teaser. So we at least have 3 bowling balls that are probably coming next week. So make sure to tune in for that. But otherwise, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.